Hello everyone, welcome to walkthrough of our project, that is the DBZ Shooter 2D game. We are really excited to show you the behind the scene of how we developed this game, the technologies we used and the challenges we overcome. I am Neeraj Bhakchandani, the team leader, and I have worked on keeping the game up and running by setting up Google Cloud Platform and managing virtual instances. But first, let me introduce the rest of the team. Fine.
So,
How about you, Bhavesh?
hi, I'm Bhavesh Arora. Basically, I worked on the game mechanics and gameplay logic using the JavaScript and Phaser3. I also collaborated with the team on the testing and improving the performance of the game. So, like, I request Jay to continue the explanation.
Thanks, Bhavesh. Hi, everyone. I'm Jasing Kushwa and I handle the game user interface, making sure it's smooth, interactive, fun to play. I also worked on implementing the Webpack and development setup. So, Shubham, buddy, take it over from here.
Yeah. Thanks, Neeraj, Bhavesh, and Jay. Myself, Shubham. I have focused basically setting up on the API logics and the integration part. I also made the scoring system working flawlessly. Along with that, I have also made the API in microverse where the storing of the data and fetching the data is what I have handled. Over to Neeraj.
Thanks, Shubham. So let's start by giving up a quick review, or we can say overview of the game. Our game is a 2D shooter, and the goal is to defeat the enemies inspired by DBZ universe while trying to get the highest score. We have made it accessible, easy to play, and a lot of fun. Fine. So, what do you say about it, Bhavesh? Do you want to add
Thanks,
something?
Neeraj. Thanks, Neeraj. So I'll be showing you the full source code that is available on our GitHub repository. Here, to DBZ Shooter 2D game repository, we followed a clear structure of the repository with dedicated folders for assets, game logic, API calls, and tests, making it easy to navigate. So basically about game mechanics and features, let me walk through the game mechanics. We have used the Phaser3 for the development. Phaser3 is a powerful game development framework that allows us to build this 2D game with smooth physics and interaction. We implemented player movement, enemy attacks, and the scoring system using JavaScript classes and modules to keep everything with clean and maintainable. So more about please Jay continue.
Sure, Bhavesh. So, to add on to that, the user interface is built using HTML5 and CSS, which makes the game responsive. We ensured that the leaderboard updates dynamically based on the player's score. The leaderboard score are fetched from an API we integrated, and the front end display it in the real time. So for the API and backend integration, Shubham, why don't you let us go through from it?
Exactly. As you all know, like backend is the backbone of any project. So this, speaking of the API, we have used Microverse API to handle the leaderboard and scoring system. All these interactions between this game and database happen asynchronously. Let me pinpoint. For the database, we have used MongoDB that is hosted in one of the GCP of our instance, where we have used promises and async functions in the JavaScript with help of JavaScript to make sure that the data that we fetched is efficient without interrupting of the gameplay and the user doesn't have any issues. So over to you, Bhavesh.
In addition to Shubham, we tested these functionalities extensively using Jest and Babel. We wanted to make sure that games run smoothly and that the score syncs with the server reliably. You will surely gonna see that in demo session. For GCP and deployment, moving to Neeraj.
Yeah, so adding on to the whatever has been told by Bhavesh and Shubham, I would say that on the deployment side, I use Google Cloud Platform to ensure the game is always accessible. We set up virtual instances and configure managing Heroku instead of that thing. But to be frank, it was a little bit costly, and then we had to shift it to some different varieties of stuff, and we shifted to a scalable solution that is nothing but virtual instance. So that multiple users playing simultaneously can be handled out from their own side. Fine. So I would say that Jai has to add on something on this particular stuff. Jai.
Yes, absolutely. So we also used Express for hosting the back-end logic, ensuring a lightweight and fast response from the server to the front end. So now talking about the challenges in learning, Shubham, why don't you take us through it?
Sure. So building this project with my entire teammate, we were having some major issues. The one of the major challenges that we faced was managing the communication between the Phaser library and the API. The pinpoints that we were generally facing was one instance was getting hosted in one, and we were using both instances parallelly, so the connection was not establishing. So one server, let's suppose the API was running on 8080 port, whereas the front end was also running on 80. So it was having a clashes. We were also facing some firewall issues. So by help of Neeraj and Jay, we were able to overcome these scenarios, and with a proper testing and debugging phase that we did through our entire journey of this project, we were able to come up with a proper solution. And now some more insights can be shared by Bhavesh.
Basically, in addition to Shubham, we also faced one more challenge that was quite on optimizing the performance of the game. Like, this is the most important thing, right? So we initially faced frame rate issues when multiple enemies were on the screen, but through optimization and tweaking the physics engine, we achieved smooth gameplay. So basically, we have actually done a lot of efforts to deploy the projects. So to deploy this project, now for the demo, I request Neeraj to have a look on that project. So Neeraj, please,
Sure.
can you show us?
Sure. Let me share the screen first. Fine. From my end.
Sure.
So I hope everything is visible at your end. And Bhavesh, is it everything good?
Yep.
Yeah. So you can view my screen, right?
Right.
Sure. Thank you. So you can see you can see that the entire project is developed by us with 4 different varieties of people. That is Jaisi and Bhavesh and Shubham. I'm thankful to him a lot. Fine. And now let me play and start with the game. So this is just a VCC project hosted on Google Cloud Platform. I will request Shubham after some time that he will be sharing his screen and show you the entire Google Cloud Platform also from his screen, which he has already been up to. Fine. So clicking on start, you can see over here, this entire game is now getting loaded, and this is our landing page wherein all the volumes and musics are getting loaded from server to our website. It will take a little bit of time, not an issue, but the music is fantastically chosen. We have also used the music in such a way that it is what we call is not having any issues regarding licensing or any such. So let me play the music. Fine. I'm unmuting the site. So this is the music that we are working on, and this is how it is getting played. Fine. First, let me go to the credits first. So for going to the credits, I'm just unmuting for some time so that the recording goes well. Fine. I hope everything is good. So on the credit side, you can see that the entire credits goes to Shubham, Bhavesh, and Jai Singh, and of course me. So these are the people who have developed this entire game, fine, and also hosted on Google Cloud Platform. So after a while, you can see that there are various options also available. That is, you can enable or disable the music as well as sound. Fine. After clicking on menu, we can also see the top scores, which I will be scrolling a little bit later on. But let's play the game first. Fine. So you can see on the screen that the entire screen is being developed in such a manner that it goes attractive manner, and also it has also shown how to play the entire game. That is A, W, D, S to move for to any sites, J to launch specific destructo disk, and I to call Picolo for aid against Beerus. Let's see what that does after playing the game. Fine. So let's play the game. So here you can see that my player can move left, right, J and I are this particular versions of it. And you can see I have been killed by one of the destructor. So I can write any name. Say for example, I want to write Jumble Doll. Fine. So if I click that, you can see my score was 110. Fine. I'm clicking on submit the score. Fine. This has been submitted. Let me go to the home screen. Let me show you the top scorers. Fine. And you will find Jumble Doll with 110 screen. Fine. The entire data is being stored in MongoDB, and that is also in different virtual instance. It's not on the same virtual instance. Shubham will be going through how the entire thing has gone through regarding Google Cloud Platform also in certain while. Fine. So clicking on this code, you can see that these codes are being developed by various people from my team and from different varieties of people who helped us for testing this entire game. Right? So that's all from my side. Fine. I hope I have explained a lot of things from how the entire game is working on. And if left from my side, I will request that Shubham, please continue from your side. Thank you.
Bhavesh, can you stop the session recording?
Okay. Pause or stop?
Pause. Hi guys, sorry for a delay for 2 seconds. Let me share my screens and let me run through all the entire applications that we already discussed. Hope my screen is visible to everyone.
Yeah. Good
Yes,
to go.
yes,
Good
it
to
is
go.
visible.
Yeah. Just a second, how to hide this? Okay, so as everyone knows, so these are the two instances that we are currently using. Just omit all the other instances that we have used for our previous project. Let me give you a brief intro. So the first instance that we are basically running is nothing but we are using it for MongoDB instance. We have also used external IP that I have fixed. How we did it, I would just show you. Guys, anyone have any idea how to remove this screen? Okay, now I can. Yeah, sorry. Yes. So let me show you guys where I did that. That is network. I'm just stretching a little bit. So while creating the instance for the first time, we can basically create an external IP. That is nothing but we can basically block the IP. Like what happens is that every time once the instance is stopped and once we restart it, it will again recreate itself. So what I've generally done is that I have blocked that IP. So whenever I am creating this instance, this will be simply getting blocked, and this external IP won't ever change. Though internal IP gets changed on every initial stop and start, but external IP won't start. Coming parallelly to the second VM, basically in second VM, what we have done is that we have deployed at front end in this instance and where we are using it. So I can show you the instance that currently we are using is, as you can see, 34, 134, 123, and 173. So this is nothing but the instance that we're using, and the instance is up on 3000 port that the other team member of my team have generally showed to you. So let me show you some more details and more code-wise versions. So now coming to the API version. So as you can see, the instance, the external instance that is 35.208.121.32 is nothing but the API scores that we are saving in backend. So if I do a hard refresh, so as you can see, so many people have already fetched in. I would just show the score that Neeraj just saved. That was, if I'm not wrong, Jumble Doll. So as you can see, the last instance Jumble Doll got stored with a score of 110. I would again share you the same thing. I'm just starting the game. I would just open a inspect to show you guys how we are triggering the API so that we can also see it on an instance phase. Sorry. Okay. So I've cleared everything. Let me play the game. So let me play the game basically. I'm just storing it. So let's say I got defeated and I am saving the game with name Shubham Test 1. And the score that we are saving, I just submitted. So as you can see, we are setting, I got a score of 30 with the name of Shubham Test 1. So how we are fetching the data? So as we can see, the last data that we were able to see was still jumbled all 110. As soon as I refresh the data, as you can see, Shubham Test 1 got incremented here, that is score 30. And that we are simply seeing in the UI screen. If you go home and once we go to the landing page again, that is home page. Sorry, again we have to reload it. So if I go and show the top score, so where is it? Shubham Test 1 is in the 10th place. So this is basically the UI functionality. Now coming to the code implementation, as Bhavesh has already shown us all the implementations, how we were able to achieve it. So basically, I would again run through you a brief intro. Like this is the first API instance for the backend where we have just help of all the packages. Let me run through the packages that we have generally used. That is ESLint for styling purposes, Webpack as Neeraj said about how we are integrating it and compiling all the and achieving all the things. Similarly, we are also using Phaser that Bhavesh helped us to integrate with, along with all the styling part that was handled by Jay. Generally simply worked on, especially on the backend integration. That was also another of the feature that I had integrated, and this is simply built with me and Jay. We worked together extensively, figuring out how the score system works and how we would be integrating everything. Both projects were integrated with a vanilla JavaScript. Also, the UI is helped with West. For the testing, we have used VITE. Also, we have shared the screenshots and all the following scenarios that you would be getting with all the scenarios. So this is a brief intro about our project, and hopefully we would be achieving some more things in the coming future. Now over to Jay.
Thanks, Shubham, for that deep insights. So, at last, I would like to close up with certain remarks. This project was a great learning experience for all of us. Working on game development, using Phaser3, integrating APIs, and hosting the game on GCP gave us exposure to both front-end and back-end technologies. We hope you enjoyed this walkthrough and that it gave you a clear idea of our project. At last, I would like to thank my wonderful teammates Neeraj, Bhavesh, and Shubham for bringing this project to life. Also, a very sincere thanks to Professor Sumit Kalra sir, under whose guidance and teaching we were able to implement our theoretical learnings to practicals. So, thank you for watching and feel free to check out the repository and play the game yourself. We did love to hear your feedbacks. So, audience, what are you waiting for? Challenge yourself, try to beat the high score. Thanks again for your time. Goodbye and happy gaming.
Goodbye.
Just before the ending call, the DBZ is nothing but Dragon Ball Z.